pretties, what's up? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here. Now, today this is a kind of like a little discussion video. Now, I am going to explain why I don't like Sweet Apple Massacre, and before I get started with the discussion video on why I don't like Sweet Apple Massacre, just to let everyone know that this is just my opinion on the story. If you disagree with my opinion, that's fine, but this is only my personal opinion on this story. Now, why I'm deciding to go out of my way and say this? Well, someone asked me to re-upload the Sweet Apple Massacre rant video that I did, back last year. So, with that being said, I am gonna, instead of reading this story, I am gonna go ahead and, explain what Sweet Apple Massacre really is. Now, some of you guys have probably, asked me about Sweet Apple Massacre, and for those who have been on my channel for a while, probably already know what that is. Now, I did try to look for the original video of me reading it and doing a rant on it. I couldn't find it. I don't know why, I just couldn't find it. I tried looking everywhere on my PC before it crashed, back in November, but I couldn't find it. So, as of that, I am just going to be explaining what is Sweet Apple Massacre for those who wanting to know. Now, to be completely honest, I am not trying to offend anybody or anything like that with this. This is just my opinion. So, without any further ado, I've been monologuing for a little bit. Now, for those who are new to my channel, you guys are probably wondering, what is Sweet Apple Massacre? Well, to be completely honest, Sweet Apple Massacre was basically a creepypasta that was written by a troll to troll the brony community. I'm not saying names on who the troll was or anything like that. I'm not going to say any names or anything like that. I'm just going to say, it was written by a troll to troll the brony community, and I believe this was written back in 2015, 2016, around the timeline, and to be completely honest, that, Sweet Apple Massacre was actually one of those, shock stories. If you guys, really think, if you guys really think, that this is just as bad, well, I think Dipper Goes to Taco Bell is a lot worse than, Sweet Apple Massacre. Or maybe that's just the other way around. I don't know what it is, but it might be just me. Now, I'm just gonna say this in the most friendly way possible without going into too many detail. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into too many detail about Sweet Apple Massacre because it is a shock story, just to be completely honest. It is disgusting. I'm gonna be completely honest. The stuff that has been used in there, I'm not saying what it is because, well, I don't want to gross any of you guys out. So, to be completely honest, what is Sweet Apple Massacre? Well, Sweet Apple Massacre is basically about Big Macintosh wanting some peace and quiet in the place, and he, kidnaps the free cutie mark crusaders like Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, and Apple Bloom, and he does some really nasty stuff to them. I'm not going to describe what they are because I don't want to gross any of you out, but some of you guys probably have read this story, or at least watched Shadow's rant on it, and you've probably have seen, or at least heard of this story. Now, to be completely honest, I remember watching Shadow's video, back in 2018, and I was pretty disgusted. I'm not gonna lie, I nearly puked while I was listening to Shadow's rant on it. I nearly puked at certain parts. Like, I'm not gonna say what Big Macintosh did to the Cutie Mark Crusaders, but it's pretty disgusting, just to be completely honest. Now, the only thing good about the story was just the good grammar and the sentence structure and all that, but the story was just not good in my opinion. Like, I know this was made just to troll the brony community, but at the same time, I'm kind of neutral when it comes to My Little Pony. Just to be completely honest, I'm only doing this, just to express my opinion. Because yet again, I really needed to get this out. Now, Sweet Apple Massacre, to be completely honest, is a shock story, not gonna lie. But, however, the thing about this, I just noticed that there is a sequel to it. Like, the sequel is when Applejack finds out, but Big Macintosh does the same thing to her as he did with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, except he keeps her alive, but she's just mentally unstable, can't talk properly and stuff like that. So, to be completely honest, I'm just, expressing my, opinion on this. Sweet Apple Massacre was completely all over the place. At least Dipper Goes to Taco Bell wasn't quite like that. But to be completely honest, this story was kind of like all over the place, with certain one thing happened to another. It's a shock story. I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not ranting like crazy like I did in the past, because back then I was like, "Oh, this is so evil and gross." Well, it is evil. Well, not evil, but it is gross. But it's a shock story, so just gonna say that right now. It's a shock story. What do we all expect now? To be completely honest, I remember Shadow Reader went bananas at this story. Like, I remember when he ranted on it, he went ballistic at the story. Man, I can't speak right today. Now, this story was posted on certain sites, but it has been taken down at certain sites for obvious reasons. I'm not gonna say what they were, but I'm gonna say right now is that, it has been taken down from certain sites because of, the disgusting stuff that was, in it. Like, I remember it was in, fanfiction.net, but I think it got taken down for obvious to God reasons. Now, one thing I could definitely say what else that was in Sweet Apple Massacre was that there were some, alternative endings, one of them being, Big Macintosh found out by Ponyville police or something like that. Just being completely honest. And then there was even a few of them that has, Big Macintosh. Well, there was even a Cupcakes crossover with this. Like, there was a cute. There was like a in the There was like a crossover between Cupcakes and Sweet Apple Massacre where Pinkie Pie does these disgusting same things to Big Mac in it. So just thought I would let you know. But they're shock stories, and with shock stories, they tend to shock you in a matter of ways. And I could see different shock stories. When I hear people narrating, Sweet Apple Massacre, I wasn't really bothered by it. But when I narrated back in 2019, I was nearly close to vomiting, to be completely honest. I don't know when this was made. I believe this was made back in 2015 or 2016, I believe. Maybe it was, 2017 or something. I don't remember. But I do remember Sweet Apple Massacre was, like that, to be completely honest. I remember that. Just to be honest. Like, I remember Sweet Apple Massacre being one of those kind of stories that you would basically get shocked and stuff. So, but I'm gonna be completely honest. The thing that I liked about Sweet Apple Massacre is just the good grammar and the sentence structure and the paragraph structuring. I just don't like the story. Mainly, it's a shock story, and to be completely honest, I could definitely say right now, people, that these are all fictional characters that are going through all this stuff that's Big Macintosh is doing to the Green Red Crusaders. They're not using actual people. It's a shock story. It was meant to shock people. So, the only site you can find this is basically on fanfiction.net. No, wait, not fanfiction.net. The only place where you could find this story is basically on Wattpad. I believe it was on DeviantArt at one point, but I believe it got taken down. But to be completely honest, I really didn't like this story, to be completely honest. But, the only thing I can commend the author for is, and give him credit for, like, good grammar, sentence structuring, and paragraph structuring. The story was meant to shock a lot of people. And to be completely honest, it is disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, it was meant to be a shock story. And there is, like, I think it was on fanfiction.net or something like that, where there was like this another story. I can't seem to find it right now, but if you guys happen to look for it, just let me know. It was like an author who had, not an author, well, kind of a user who had, like, a compilation of stories, had a collection of shock stories, and one of them having to be where Shining Armor does the same things to Flurry Heart that Big Mac did to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Like, it's the same thing, but with different characters in different situations, which they're shock stories. They're meant to shock you, just to be completely honest. Now, I am not going to be linking Sweet Apple Massacre story in the comment section for, obvious reasons. But if you want to look it up, I really highly recommend you don't if you don't want to get grossed out. But at the same time, this story, it's a shock story, so I can't really lie or, say anything bad. But at the same time, it was meant to shock people, just to be completely honest. The only places where you'll be able to find this now is like on, well, Wattpad. That basically Wattpad you could find this story on, but it was deleted from certain other sites. So just the same with Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. But that's going to be another story for another day. Oh my goodness. Dipper Goes to Taco Bell is going to be another video. I will get into that topic eventually. But to be completely honest, Sweet Apple Massacre, for what it was, it did a good job, by shocking people. Even though I don't like it, but to be completely honest, the grammar and all that is pretty good. Like I said again, I know I'm repeating myself, but just to be honest, if you guys like this story, I respect your opinion, but most of you that I do know probably don't like it. But if you guys like it, that's fine. But at the same time, just respect people's opinions on this story. So, I know this discussion video is about 12 minutes long. I will be seeing you all in the next video. I hope you have a good day, and please roll the outro because I'm out of here. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications if you guys want to get updated by my newest uploads. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I will be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.